And they found themselves testing themselves by closing one eye to go to sleep and keeping one eye open.
Like in Clockwork Orange style, where they have the eyes strapped open.
Well, that's how they tried to go and visit themselves in the other hemisphere.
No wonder they went crazy. They didn't sleep forever. It was pretty good. I feel like I remember this bourbon being very good.
Which one is it?
It's the Dickel, dude.
Dickel,
Tickle your Dickel, dude.
Cheers.
I don't know why I do that every single time I go over the microphone.
Like this?
I did. I went like that.
Why?
I don't know. Right. I'm a silly goose, dude.
You are a silly goose. Well, hello, anyone who's ever referred to St. Patrick's Day as Amateur Day. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Drunk and Demonic. I'm your host, Jamie.
I'm Peter, the other host.
And we
don't usually say it like that. I'm sorry. I threw you for a loop there.
It's okay. You did throw me through another host as you were like Hercules. Hercules.
What's that?
Oh, that's what you were doing. You were clapping like that.
I was, dude. I really like your intro.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I just came up with it myself.
I love it.
Well, with further ado, let's get into our wonderful sponsors we have today.
Yep. We started off the night with a nice little toasty poo of this George Dickel 8-year bourbon.
Shit.
Quite good.
Night.
Exactly. You know, surprisingly, we don't drink an entire fucking bottle every shift.
I'm glad we don't.
Shift?
Podcast?
Right. It's a shift.
I would call it a shift, yeah.
Wait, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking this new beer that I've found is called Pacifico.
Clara?
I don't know if you remember
Pacifico.
Talking about this La Clara.
Yeah.
Very much last episode.
Yeah, for sure. I was
remember that? You're ham bone, dude. There's a part that I cut out of the episode where you were like really mad at me for calling you out for being drunk. But I was just doing it to mess with you.
And you didn't keep it in?
No.
What a guy.
You're like mad.
I appreciate that, dude.
What else we got here?
Show me
what
a
else
bad
we
light.
Pick up?
Dude, you picked up the Pilsner from Melvin Brewing out of Jackson Hole.
I think it's out of a smaller town. It's kicked out of it was kicked out
Alpine.
of Jackson Hole. So it's out of Alpine, which I did have a chance to go to the brewery.
Is that the one we stopped at on the way back from Montana?
No, that was in
that was Snake River.
No, that was in Pinedale.
Yeah.
That was Smoky River.
Oh, okay. Good food there.
It was good. But no, we went to that town. Did you say Afton?
Alpine.
Yeah, we stopped on my way back from Montana this summer, and we stopped at that brewery. And it was really cool. They had like campsites on it, on location.
Is that the one that's like over by the lake?
Yes.
Along the Snake?
The Snack?
The Snack?
It is.
Over by the lake?
It is.
Okay.
But it's like, that's the whole town.
Isn't that, so we drove through that on our way up then?
Maybe. I don't remember.
You know what?
I know I've been there.
You know who is totally going to care about all of this?
Who?
Our listeners.
Exactly. They ain't going to give
Let's keep moving. I'm sorry. I did this.
You do this every time.
I do this every time. Jamie, we have our sponsors.
Yeah.
We appreciate all that they do for us.
Thank you. Unofficial sponsors.
Yeah, so unofficial. They don't want anything to do with us. Do you want to mention a little PSA?
So it was brought to our attention that certain people like our rambling section of our podcast and certain people like our storyline. Correct.
Yeah, our main events.
Main event. Yep. And some people just like that we bullshit and talk about horror movies.
They like us, and some people like the story.
So here is our plan going forward, or maybe for the foreseeable future, or just this episode.
Until you tell us that you guys hate this idea.
Or let us know. So what we're going to do is we're going to break this into 2 episodes where we have us talking about.
One will be drunken ramblings. Maybe we can
exactly. And then the other one will be a main event. And instead of this being a 2-week every 2 weeks we do an episode. We will be putting out an episode every week.
And it's not going to be like the hour and a half type episode. We're going to have like 30 to 45 minutes each episode.
I doubt it. It's going to be an hour each episode. That's my guess.
Okay.
So
I thought maybe we were cutting down on our time frame.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Yeah, you are right, because before we were maybe a little bit worried about how long we were talking, and now since we 2 episodes, I'm gonna be rambling, dude.
Well, judging by how much you ramble already, as we talked about you being a rambling man at least 3 times already since we started, and we are 5 minutes and 14 seconds in, I think we're gonna go to the hour.
Cool. Either way,
let's find out.
We're gonna be getting more consistent content to you guys, and that's part of the reason why to do this. Also, it's gonna make things a little bit easier on each side. We can kind of edit things a little bit staggered.
It's actually going to give me, I'm going to have a lot more work doing this.
I have the same amount of work.
He doesn't really do anything. I do everything for this podcast, just so you know. He just comes in and smiles. Chachi,
but I do smile a lot.
It's true.
And I laugh and laugh.
Just kidding. He does do stuff. That was very rude. I'm the rude one. He's the funny one. We all know that.
Do people say that?
Yeah, all the time.
I love that.
Well,
for us.
Is that enough PSAing for you?
Yeah. I mean, if you guys don't love this, just let us know. We can go back to the regular scheduled programming. But I think this is a way to just break things up, keep things fresh.
We'll see how it goes.
Yep. Anyways, let's get into the rambling, dude. We got our Hell on Earth section first. You have done a deep dive into the Zizian cult.
I would like to explain what I'm talking about instead of you just kind of getting to take all the limelight of it.
Yeah, I'm throwing. I'm not even softballing it. I'm setting up the T-ball.
No, so
right there for you.
So a couple episodes back, we talked about how there was a shooting on the Vermont border,
and I can't believe I hadn't heard of this whole thing
before
before this.
What that turned into is we found out that it was linked into what they said a vegan cult. And in that episode, we didn't know anything about it or what it meant to be linked to.
But it was pretty fresh then, wasn't it?
No.
So it happened a week or so before.
Well, the shooting.
Yeah. No, that's when you first did report on it.
The shooting happened
very recent.
Yes. And I kind of got a lot of the names wrong. And the reason why I did is because everyone goes by different names in their lives compared to what they were known legally in the news, because most of the people in the story identify as transgender.
Okay, wait. So they're transgender, and those transgender names have different names? Are they close, though? Is it like Kyle to Kylie? Or
no? So
is it weird cult names?
And I don't know all the names in front of me. Yeah. So the main 3 people I can kind of explain to you.
Yeah.
So Michelle Zenko, I believe, was the person that was arrested for shooting the Border Patrol in Vermont.
Okay.
And with her was a German guy. I don't exactly name his name. I know that he went off of his female name. It was something very confusing, but he was also murdered at the same time as this.
Right. The Border Patrol officer had killed him.
Correct.
Okay.
And all of this, they all got arrested with a person that was named Jack. I don't have anything in front of me, and I can't really read while I'm talking. We found out through these things, but I believe it's Jack Lasoda.
Okay.
And this person happened to be not in the car with them, but happened to be linked to them. And he is the person that had started what they call this Zizian cult.
Yep.
And it's not I guess they're calling it cult status because there was multiple people that all believed in the same thing as him.
Yeah.
Or I guess he went by her.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I'm not if I offend anyone.
Yeah, we'll put a premise out there hey, we're sorry.
Yeah,
we don't mean to misidentify anyone.
I'm not going to, and I'm also, I'm sorry that I'm not going to feel bad about mispronouncing it, just because it's
For sure.
very confusing to follow the story. So Jack,
Yeah, I don't know why we're really sorry that we're
I don't know.
misidentifying these like multiple murderers. That's totally our bad.
I don't feel bad for them. There's a lot, like most of my information I got from a podcast called the Mile Higher.
Yeah, they're good.
They're out of Denver.
Yep.
And
I like them.
I guess they were very apologetic
okay.
about, and like felt kind of sorry for how like mental health issues and transgender, where I found myself not like, no, like you guys, these people killed lots of people and had no remorse. Like this person, Jack Lesotho.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know of like a couple different weird things that they've done, but I'm going to let you keep rolling because I feel like you're just about there.
Yeah. So I will start with where it all came from.
Mm-hmm.
So
the Zizian thing, or like the idea for this whole thing,
where the whole Zizian cult stems from.
Yeah, like what their ideas are.
No, I'm going to just try to tell you where it started, and then I can go into ideas. Sorry. It's okay.
You mean like physically a place where it started?
No, you want to just shut up real quick?
I'm ready for you, dude. Hit me. Okay. Hit me up.
Thank you. So Jack Lesotho was born in Anchorage, Alaska, very, very remote, and then went to school for like computer.
Oh yeah,
computer
science.
Yeah, computer
I forgot that all these people are total computer nerds.
Yeah, and moved to San Francisco, where he said he kept getting fired from all these intern jobs because they were not understanding they weren't understanding his ideals.
Okay.
And so he started this blog.
Okay.
And that's where all of this starts.
Dude, it is blogs, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's so weird because I don't know a whole lot of people that read blogs. But you know who do? People that fucking spend their entire lives on the internet read a lot of blogs.
Precisely. In this blog, he kind of explains that he identifies himself as a cis lord. So he spends from Star Wars. And these stories are very
Sith Lord.
Sith Lord.
I thought you said cis Lord?
No, Sith.
Okay.
From Star Wars. So he dresses in a...
That's way cooler than cis Lord. Sure. Because I thought this was like the cisgender thing. I thought you said cis Lord, and I was like, I don't know what that means. Sith Lord, way cooler. Yes. Like it? All right. I'm back on board again. I don't hate him completely.
Okay.
Change my mind.
So the way he identifies is that he should not have to feel responsible for any negative actions or anything he does, because he is made in this world for destruction.
Yeah, I get that.
He also,
I mean, it makes no sense, but
yes,
if you want to absolve yourself of any guilt, go for it.
Mm-hmm. He also believes heavily into, and I don't really know much about this because I've never really seen the show, but my girlfriend loves the show, and maybe some people can tell us about it. But there's a cartoon called Steven Universe that is about like superheroes that are not necessarily like look like regular everyday superheroes.
Non-traditional.
Well, just like the main superhero Steven is like a little chubster guy. That's all. And I'm sorry.
Honestly, I will say that usually you bring up a story and I at least know something about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have no fucking idea what you're even talking about.
Well, and I got so lost in
universe.
It's okay. We'll move past this.
She's just in time.
Who's here?
She's just in time to talk about Steven Universe.
Oh yeah, we were just talking. Do you want to come on real quick?
Yeah, tell us what Steven Universe is.
And rose quartz is the most powerful one. Has sex with a regular.
All right, so what
I'm guessing that's where the whole
rock girls love this show. I can tell the ones that carry like rocks around in their pockets love this.
Well, and I also think that's probably why Jack Lesotho like carried so much into the Steven Universe, because he himself like felt like he came from two different areas.
Yeah. Okay.
And was put on this earth.
Yeah, I guess I can understand
it. So his big belief is that there's two different hemispheres that we
Of the
both
brain.
that we both live on. The left and right hemisphere are two different universes that you could be in at one time. Yes, there's the left and right hemisphere for a brain. And they found themselves testing themselves by closing one eye to go to sleep and keeping one eye open.
Like in Clockwork Orange style, where they have the eyes strapped open.
Well, that's how they tried to go and visit themselves in the other hemisphere.
No wonder they went crazy. They didn't sleep forever.
There was also on record that they didn't spend a lot of time doing this, maybe 10 or 20 minutes.
Interesting.
And that's it.
Okay.
All right, where were we? Sorry.
We're talking about we're talking about the blog ideas, kind of where we're getting from the philosophy of the not necessarily a cult at this point, right? It's just one person's blog that they're saying that there's multiple universes, I guess. That's still multiple. Two universes that each
two different hemispheres.
Personality. Not universes, hemisphere. Sorry.
They call it left and right hemisphere.
Yeah.
Where they each have different
personalities.
Cells,
okay.
Two different cells. And I won't really so there are a couple people down the road that kill themselves in his cult.
Mm-hmm.
And in his blog he just kind of explains that this person decided to go to the other side of the hemisphere.
Oh.
So all of this comes from this guy, Jack Lasotto.
Okay.
And him having his blog.
Yep.
And from there, Michelle, who we talked about before.
Who was the one that killed the Border
Who killed the Border Patrol.
Okay. Just connecting dots here.
They all get together and they, I believe, all move to a place outside of San Francisco area.
Yeah.
And they live on this guy's land in multiple trailers together.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just, while I explain, will you look up the guy's name that Jack Lasotto lived on?
It's up
his land.
Is it in Encinitas?
I believe so. And I want to say his name's Clint or something around that.
I'm going to look landlord.
Yes, perfect.
All right. Keep going.
And so they live on this land during COVID. And do you remember in COVID where California put a ban on rent?
Yeah, a moratorium where you can't.
Yeah, there's a rent moratorium.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So when the moratorium happened, Jack and his said cult stopped paying their landlord. And once COVID, they lifted all the moratorium, his landlord asked them to start paying rent.
Okay.
And they made a bunch of excuses why they couldn't.
You're talking about Kurt Lynn.
See, I said Clint.
You're super close, though.
But he's 81.
It's in Vallejo.
Yeah. Vallejo, California.
Yep.
Perfect.
Right outside of San Francisco.
Okay. And this Kurt.
Lynn.
This Kurt guy, this is a sidebar, super nice and embraced these people.
Yeah, they're a little bit different, but he's an open-minded kind of guy.
He
He
even
probably had fun through the 70s, would be my guess.
Yeah. 81.
Yep.
Sees a bunch of, or has a bunch of transgender people living on his farm in these trailers, and then takes a few of the men who are transitioning to women and helps them go pick out bras and helps them makes them know that he is comfortable with who they are and is not judgmental. Pretty cool for an 81-year-old dude.
For sure.
If you're
in this climate,
yeah, because you know what I mean. If this was Wyoming, he would have shot them and then done some. So back to the story. Kurt. I don't know why I want to say Clint.
His son is named Carl.
Kurt begins asking them to start paying rent, and they still refuse. And so what he does is he sues them, and it was hey, you need to back pay me. I think
for the rent.
Some's $64,000.
How many people are living for how long?
A lot. I don't know.
It is expensive. Rent prices just across the country, but especially in California, have to be outrageous.
Yes, and I don't know exactly. I've heard it. How many?
You could rack up 64,000 in 2 years.
Precisely. The day before they're supposed to go trial, one of the members of this group goes and grabs Kurt. Fuck. Goes and grabs Kurt.
It's okay.
And says, hey, there's something wrong with my water in my trailer. Can you come help me? And he goes, absolutely. And he goes to this trailer to help them. And upon getting there, they stab him multiple times. They stab him in the chest with a samurai sword, and they stab him.
What?
They stab him in the eye as well.
Oh, shit.
Blind in one eye.
Wait, leaving him blind, not dead?
Yeah, he is found. He survives. He is found with a samurai sword
In him?
in him, and lives. Look it up.
No, I'm on the same. Like, I'm literally looking at it. I haven't gotten down there. I also don't want to like cheat here, so I'm looking up things that you need, but I don't want to skip ahead. Okay, so they've attacked their landlord, and he lives. Do they keep going to court? Does he show up the next day to court? Because that would be a fucking power move. Be like, fucking eye patch, and like, you can't take the samurai sword out. You're going to bleed out.
No.
So he just shows up with it in. That'd be cool as shit.
They don't go after that. And
Okay.
I don't remember exactly because it's such a wild thing. If this was the part where Jack decides to play dead, I think it is. I think they go and they issue a warrant into these trailers to get the people, and Michelle puts her hands up and gets arrested.
Yep.
And Jack is just laying on the ground pretending to be dead.
What? This is so crazy.
That picture that you're looking at
is not dead picture?
Yes. And where you were just reading, upon being before he could be charged for the murder and trial, he stages his own death. So much, in fact, that his parents put his obituary in the Fairbanks, Alaska newspaper.
Sure.
This is 2022.
Okay, so yeah, what I'm seeing is that this fake death, for some reason, happens just before this incident with their landlord. So maybe this was like in the case, maybe he was trying to like get out of like having to pay for like, you know, the case that Kurt had filed against them, because that would make sense with the timeline. So this
looks right.
November 2022. I'm seeing is when the samurai sword attack happens. But September 22 is when Jack dies in a boating accident, and it does say that his family reported.
Yes, that's also a wild ride where they all like flee with a boat. They buy a boat and try to leave. And then the boat capsized.
As I'm looking at this, that Emma Borhenane, I'm only putting that in quotations because I don't know if that's the official name or what it is in the article here, but that Kurt fucking shot one of them and killed him in this attack that they had with the samurai sword.
Yes, I do remember that.
Okay, so that's one death technically attributed to the cult. I would say that's attributed to the cult. If they're actively trying to fucking kill people and get killed in that act, just like the other guy who was shot, this German guy that you keep mentioning.
So Teresa Youngblood is the German guy's trans name.
Okay, Galantery. Yeah, so that's crazy so this whole thing that happened at the house resulted in one of them dying. Then another one dies later. How do they progress from leaving California, or what happens in California to where they're trying to escape it? Sounds like it's trying to escape the country.
Yes. I know they left by boat, and they tried to get the boat docked or afloat, and they never could.
Okay.
And that's where Jack, I'm pretty sure they start his death. It's there's so much. We won't go into that part because we're already kind of going into a lot. Let's go to Delco County or Vermont. Pennsylvania.
Okay, Pennsylvania,
where Michelle Zanko,
yes, the one who shot,
killed, both of her parents are murdered, and after And now the murder is linked to Michelle actually killing both of her parents as well.
No question.
Yes,
For sure.
This is after all this that happened.
Wait.
Yeah.
After the Border Patrol incident?
No, this is
Before
the Border Patrol, but this is after.
That's why they're escaping the country, because
Yes.
they're like, oh yeah, they're definitely going to find me. I need to go to Canada.
Yes.
Okay. Huh.
And then right after that, it leads up to where they're being spotted in Vermont for these supposed murders that happened, or everything that happened in San Francisco area.
Yeah.
And they're being trailed for a couple weeks in Vermont. And when that's when they get pulled over. And Michelle gets out of the car.
Just starts blasting.
Shoots him point blank.
Damn.
Yes.
Yeah.
And from there, both Jack and Michelle are arrested.
Yep.
And they are awaiting trial.
Both held without bail. Do you know, it says that there are 6 deaths attributed. Do we know where all of these, because we've talked about...
We got 3? We have 4.
I guess 4 technically, if we're going to count the members that have died.
There's one other member.
Are we counting Jack's fake death as a death? Okay.
I don't think so. I know that there's at least 2.
But you're talking about, you also mentioned some suicides?
Yes, there was 2 suicides. I was literally on my way to say that. And you're like, wait, Blob, Taki dude. You get so excited. But yes, the 2 suicides is my guess. Okay. And I'm sorry that I can't word for word, because to do this story justice, you'd almost need a whole episode. And that's where I
pretty wild.
Recommend that you go into the rabbit hole that is YouTube and go onto one of these podcasts that have already covered it.
And the Mile Higher one is pretty good.
It's very thorough.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours long.
They're good.
Yeah.
I've sourced them for sure in some of this stuff that we've covered so far.
They get a bit political.
Okay.
That's my only issue, because I like to hate everyone.
Yeah, well, we got in trouble for that one time.
Well, you did. I didn't. I like to I like to hate everyone equally. So is this?
What are you looking at?
I'm trying to talk about exactly what they believed, but none of this really explains.
Well,
more than we already explained.
What I'm kind of surprised by is I guess I know that Lesotho was tied into the tech community.
Correct.
Right? Probably has pretty solid. I'm just surprised that they didn't go deeper into there's no computer crimes that they've committed or anything like that. Because if you're good enough, but maybe they're just not good enough. Maybe they're just people that have basic knowledge enough to get jobs in Silicon Valley because they can run a computer, which we have difficulty doing. But maybe they're not very good at computers.
Well, he was
past a regular kind
he
of
was definitely fired from 2 of his jobs.
Yeah, but that was only because they discriminated against him. So
fair enough.
It had nothing to do with his performance, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. I think he refused to work more than 40 hours as an intern from his first job.
Paid? Unpaid.
Unpaid. And then from there, he was like, fuck you.
That's tough, though.
Yeah.
40 hours unpaid? Pretty good. Pretty good excuse to be upset about that.
Well, I think in the tech community,
whatever. I don't even like that I excused anything there. That's exactly my bad. But anyways, the people that are tied in, do you know if this is Michelle was involved with the tech world at all?
I don't.
Okay.
I just know that they all met through.
We just know that Jack was.
Yes.
Okay.
They all met through
this
Jack's blog.
Yeah.
And then all came together and lived together.
Well, good for them, I guess.
And that currently is all we know, which I'm sure if you know any more than we do, please let us know. And once this story continues to keep going, we will fill you out more into this. I'm gonna look at these pictures. These fucking people are so weird.
Yeah, dude, throw some of them up just so people can see what the fuck is going on. Yeah,
and that's
super confusing.
That's all I really have.
Okay,
we'll keep you posted on this crazy ass story.
Yeah, as things come through. we'll do our best to keep people updated. It's one of those like ongoing stories that I think
Correct.
not that people come to us for this information, but we're here to provide it for those that would like to listen.
Precisely.
All right. Another story that I thought was super interesting. We kind of talked about it just before we started recording last time.
Ooh.
Was the death of Gene Hackman. Now, initially, this story started out like a Murder, She Wrote episode, where the story goes is that two security guards that take control or like that patrol this like subdivision outside of Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you that someone anonymously sent me a Murder, She Wrote sticker in the mail? Did I tell you about this?
No.
I think
Since
I
we started the podcast?
Yes.
Why isn't it on your computer?
I don't.
I need stickers, dude. Hit me up. I'd love a Murder, She Wrote sticker, dude.
Sorry. So yeah, someone sent me. Please, someone tell me who it was. But it was completely
Unaddressed?
It was addressed to me with
Yeah.
no return address or anything. And I opened it up, and it was just a sticker that says,
Murder.
"I killed them all." And it's Angela Lansbury.
I love it, dude. That's so sick.
You know who I initially thought it was? Tom Segura.
You thought Tom was communicating with you directly?
Well, because
He knew.
because we called him out for
We
murdering
did.
everyone.
Yep. We did,
But
but maybe it was G.
Could be. I don't think it's any of those things. If someone could tell me who sent me this sticker, that'd be great.
G, if it was you, please tell us. We need to know. And we're going to let Tom know too. So,
Go on.
anyways, so these security guards show up to the house because they were called there by some worker that had shown up to either fix like the air conditioning, or there was some service worker that had shown up to the house and reported two people dead, not knowing who they were, like just saw them and just immediately called authorities. He ran down the street, found these security officers. They called in police. But anyways, so the police show up, and we have Gene Hackman dead in what was described as like the mudroom of his house.
This is on Santa Fe, correct?
Yes, all in Santa Fe, in like their very nice home. But anyways, he's laying on the floor with like his sunglasses near him. It looks like he like had collapsed or had fallen or something like that. They walk further into the house. First off, we should mention that the main door. So apparently, the mudroom went out into the yard, not their main door. That's where the mudroom was. So the main door to the house is also ajar, like it's open.
Mm-hmm.
So officers don't need technically a warrant to go in and start investigating. They go in and they find his wife, Betsy Arakawa. She's dead and like has already started to mummify in one of the bathrooms in their home. And they find like a bottle of pills had been spilled near her, and there was like a space heater that was running. On top of that, they find obviously Hackman's body, like we talked about, looked like it was like a fall or something collapse. And then they also find, unfortunately, one of the couple's dogs is in a kennel in like, they said it was a closet, but it's more like a side part of one of the bathrooms. So like a separate room in the bathroom. I don't totally understand it, but really like strange. No one knows how any of this happened, especially the fact that Betsy Arakawa has like started to mummify means that she has been dead for a couple weeks at that point.
Really? I thought it was a week before.
It was not.
The internet made you really think that they all.
Yeah, they were. Well, that's the thing, is that I started looking into this before we got all the answers, and people are speculating all of these crazy theories, like did someone break in and murder them? There was nothing that we could really that like pointed to like robbery. There's nothing missing from the house, but like the door is open and she's laying next to bottle of open like medication. The dog, one of the dogs, not all of the dogs, one of the dogs is dead. The other two are running around in the yard. And so there was this huge mystery about what had happened. And I was digging into all these crazy different theories, from like her potentially, like him dying and her having such heartbreak by it that like she died of broken heart. All these other crazy theories.
He really died of a broken heart? I don't know. I guess
I
Johnny
can't
Cash.
remember what happened exactly. Yeah, exactly. But they were positing all these different theories because no one knew what happened. But in the last, like, I'd call it 24 to 30 hours, we've gotten like a much better picture of what they're very certain happened is that Betsy Arakawa had contracted hantavirus, which is pretty much comes from like the dust created from the rodent
Mouse shit.
shit. Yeah, mouse shit. And I gotten incredibly sick from that.
We talked about how when we were kids in the 80s, that was definitely a huge scare.
I was terrified of
I
hantavirus
remember
from
being-
like 5 to 15.
I still to this day,
I see mouse shit and I'm like, oh God, I'm
yeah,
gonna die.
we also found we found 2 dead mice at our house today too, and I thought about hantavirus.
Well, I can make sure you're all right, dude. Get tested. I don't know if that applies in this situation. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Live free or die, dude. So
But anyways, so what they're positing is that it's quite likely that Betsy died on February 11th. Okay. Now, Gene Hackman was his only caregiver was Betsy. So he was struggling severely with amnesia as well as Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
And they're positing that he, I think he was 85 or something like that, maybe even older. I can't remember
what
exactly.
It was 81.
Okay, but was struggling with like some significant mental health.
Yes,
like not like normal mental health things, like old age mental health
old guy stuff.
That he was completely reliant upon her, and when she passed, he kind of wasn't being taken care of anymore, and was just sort of wandering their home and their estate for the next. Looks like 8 to 10 days. They're guessing that he passed away around February 20th. That's the last time that his pacemaker registered pumping. So he either died from a heart attack before that or his pacemaker just stopped, which led to a heart attack for him.
We were way off, by the way.
How old is he?
95.
95. Okay.
Holy
yeah, I
shit,
knew he was
dude.
old, dude. But so the bodies this whole thing starts when police show up on February 26th. So we were exactly, from February 11th to the 26th, 15 days. We're over 2 weeks. It's a really sad, kind of end to that story, specifically like, Gene Hackman struggling with whatever illnesses he has, like unchecked with no one to take care of him for the last like 10 or so days of his life. And it's just a really sad story. They're saying that it's most likely that the dog passed away from either lack of water or lack of food. It had just had a surgery the day before Betsy died, or they're guessing Betsy died.
Oh, no.
Which would explain why it was in the kennel and like in this crate that was in the house and not running free like the rest of the dogs were. So when she passed and wasn't able to take care of the dog anymore, and Gene was, dealing with whatever he was dealing with. What was like started out as like a pretty like interesting mystery, does end like on a really sad, but these things happen kind of note. And anyways, I was really, really interested in what was going on with this because it like pricked the part of my brain that really wants to like wonder about mysteries and conspiracies and things like that. But
what did you think about
at points, just like sometimes the most simple explanations of like, yep, fucking old people die and sometimes crazy things happen, like getting hantavirus. And so sad end of that story, but worth, I think, reaching out and letting everyone know what we found.
Let's end this with a cheers to Gene Hackman and his family.
Absolutely.
And maybe let's talk about our favorite Gene Hackman movie. What's your favorite?
Honestly, like trying to think specifically, what's the football one that he was in?
With Burt Reynolds?
Was that The Longest Yard?
Yeah. No. In the early 2000s, correct?
Yeah.
I got it right here.
Oh, dude, he was the coach in
The Replacements.
The Replacements. He was such a jerk in that. Runaway Jury was really good.
I could tell you my favorite.
What's your favorite?
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't even know he was in that.
Isn't he Willy Wonka?
No, that was Gene Wilder. Hackman, Wilder, I get it.
I bet I'm so dumb with names.
Okay.
So yes, Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
What was Gene Wilder?
What else was he in?
No, what else was Gene Hackman in?
He had a lot of like good like suspenseful movies.
Most
Behind Enemy Lines was dope. Royal Tenenbaums.
he was in The Birdcage.
He was in The Birdcage. Was he in Hunt for Red
His
October?
last movie, Welcome to Mooseport.
Ooh, I do remember that one.
I remember.
That one was sweet.
So thank you, Gene
Yeah.
Hackman. I'm sorry that you died the way you did. That is very bummer. He was also in all the Superman.
Yep.
He was Lex Luthor.
He was in The Quick and the Dead. That movie was fucking badass, dude.
Young Frankenstein, still a wonderful movie. R.I.P. Sir,
Yep.
and your wife,
Yep.
and
Absolutely.
your little dog too.
Yep. We're sorry for the dog as well.
Sorry, Pop. You want to talk about some horror?
Yeah, kind of similar vein, I guess we'd call it. I was looking at movies that are going to be coming out soon, and I saw Stephen King's new favorite movie was this movie called The Rule of Jenny Penn.
Okay.
And it came out, like 2 days ago, March 7th,
March 7th.
2025.
As you're seeing this, it will be a week out.
Yep.
Maybe even 2 weeks out, actually. Ooh, maybe 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
It's damn near.
Damn near. Anyways, March 7th, this movie came out. It's we can't get it quite yet. It's not available on streaming. It's just available on cool movie theaters.
Just not
we
movie
don't
theaters
fucking
that
have.
just play Captain
Play the fucking
America,
hits, dude.
or not let you in at 7:40 or 7
At 7:45.
7:56.
But anyway, so this movie stars John Lithgow and Jeffrey Rush, and the synopsis for it is: confined to a secluded rest home and trapped within his stroke-ridden body, a former judge must stop an elderly psychopath who employs a child's puppet to abuse the home's residents with deadly consequences. So it's like this guy who's a retired judge in a nursing home with another guy who's also a psycho who is like trying to like murder other people that are in the actual like rest home with them. It looks really cool. Apparently it like deals a lot with not having complete control over your body or your mind, like losing your faculties and stuff like that, which seemed honestly a pretty good tie in.
My mind. Well, somebody will tell me I'm fine. Exactly.
Yeah. But I thought it was a good little tie-in, and also, Stephen King saying it's the best horror movie he's seen in a while, so I thought it was worth mentioning.
That's definitely worth
when we can. I think we should take a gander at The Rule of Jenny Penn
in theaters right now. So if you have a movie theater, unlike us,
give her looks.
Give her a looky-loo.
Yep. All right,
What
Jamie,
else you got there?
What do you got?
So
upcoming.
I was going to talk about a movie that also came out 2 days, or I believe came out 2 days ago, called Sinners.
Okay. I'm looking at the
no,
thing right now.
This doesn't, I'm sorry. Once again, I'm wrong. Sinners doesn't come out until April.
Oh, okay.
April 18th.
That's okay. That's within a month. We're good.
But it has Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, this is the Ryan Coogler movie?
It is the Ryan Coogler movie.
Okay.
What do you know about Ryan Coogler?
I know that him and Michael B. Jordan did Fruitvale Station.
Fruitvale Station.
Yep.
Okay.
He also did the most recent Black Panther movie.
Ooh, he sure did. He
He
did the Creed.
Oh, he did Creed?
Yeah.
I didn't know he
He's
did
the
Creed.
director of Creed.
I think he's directed like a lot of movies that Michael B. Jordan has been in.
Yeah, he's
I
done.
think he likes him.
Yeah. He's done all the first four I see right here are all
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, other than Wakanda Forever. That's the Wakanda Forever, the official Black Panther podcast.
Oh, he was on
He
a
produced
podcast.
the new Space Jam.
Okay.
Yeah. So he did the first Creed.
Michael B. Jordan was also in that movie, just in case you're wondering. He had a brief show up because they got the wrong Michael Jordan.
Yes, I remember that.
Yep. Okay.
So
What's The Sinner, dude?
the
Sinners. Sorry.
Sinners is about a guy trying to leave his troubled life behind him, moves to a new town. And I believe this is in, I want to say from the trailer, probably the 1800s, somewhere around there, like 1890s or something, or early 1900s. But I'm guessing early
Post Civil
1900s.
War, pre civil rights.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah,
I don't know why I didn't see the trailer here playing, but I do see the screenshot, and I'm like, man, that looks like a Jason Statham
it
film.
really does. It doesn't look like anything like what the trailer shows you.
doesn't.
Like in the trailer, everyone's wearing like mob boss hats.
Yeah.
And like there's a bunch of like blues music, and it's like in an old timey barn.
That's good to know, because we were at Blue Stage yesterday, and I saw the poster for this, and I was like, oh, sweet. It's going to be like one of those, like, it looks like The Transporter is what it looks like. It looks like a Jason Statham movie with Michael B. Jordan in it. And now, having seen 10 seconds of the trailer, I can definitely say that it's not that.
For what I believe in this, that it is 100% a vampire movie.
Ooh.
And I'm pretty sure
I was going to ask how this ties in.
the white guys
Are vampires.
are the vampires. And they're being really rude to the black guys.
That's fair.
And Michael B.
Not
Jordan.
like it's fair that they did it.
No, it's not
I
fair.
think
Wow, racist. Much.
that continue.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stop.
Yeah. And Michael B. Jordan is going to kill.
He's Van Helsing.
Yes.
Yep. That's a
It's a
cool
very-
idea. I actually like that idea.
Really good.
Michael B.
idea.
Jordan as Van Helsing. It,
I like
honestly, like, it would take time during like Bram Stoker's Dracula, so it's just like the
Yeah.
American version of that. It looks like
Yeah.
cool as shit, dude. Hell yeah!
It's like Dracula for black guys. And white guys.
I was
I'm
gonna
really
call it
liking
Blackula.
Blackula, don't say that. So I'm really excited about it, kind of.
Why
I'm not. Well, because I feel like all the hype I've had, like this last year, has been about vampires.
Yeah,
There's
a
Abigail.
lot of vampires.
Starting
Demeter.
last year, Abigail. Nosferatu.
Yeah.
And now this. So it's like, man, how many? They're just beating a dead damn horse.
or dead a person that's a
Yeah.
vampire,
Exactly.
an undead horse. They are beating an undead horse.
So yeah, I also, upon looking for, because I didn't get a chance to watch anything other than the newest episode of Yellow Jackets, which if you're not watching Yellow Jackets, which you're not, I'm not going to tell you about it, but go and watch Yellow Jackets so we can talk about it.
Okay,
Thank you.
deal.
I did stumble upon,
I've just watched True Detective again.
can you just watch Yellow Jackets?
I'll watch it. I'm just letting you know.
I stumbled upon 3 new movies that are set to come out in the next month.
Hit me.
And tell me if you find a common theme to these.
Okay.
So the first one I was going to tell you about is called Popeye the Slayer Man. The next one is called The Ugly Stepsister.
Okay.
And then the next one is called Screamboat.
Man, these are. Thank God for eminent domain lapsing, because now this shit is all public domain and we get to do whatever the fuck we want with it.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
If
wait.
you
You
follow
were
the-
asking if I found a common theme.
did you?
I think it's a Disney thing. I'm not sure.
No, I think it's just literally like cartoons turning into
Yeah.
slasher movies.
Yep. Yep.
So, Screamboat,
Looks like Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie.
Okay.
And there's already last year was a horror movie about, which if you look at this picture from Screamboat, it looks absolutely fucking terrible.
It's going to be so good. Look how bad that is.
Yes. So
This is one of those ones. It's going to like, the nice thing about all this public domain shit is that people are going to be able to make, I've talked about this before, like bad horror movies and not have to fucking like create new characters. It's just going to be fun, dumb horror,
I feel like
which I love.
we've talked about this a lot on this podcast, just how much there is of this common domain.
This is separate from the Pooniverse,
It's
right?
all separate from
Okay.
the Pooniverse. That's why I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
So this is not the first common domain horror movie about Steamboat Willie. There was one last year too.
Cool.
Like literally a couple days after it became common domain, they like put out the trailer. So they
Yeah.
already filmed it and everything.
Oh, right. For sure. I mean, I feel like I remember that happening at the same time that the original Winnie the Pooh one was done.
Yes, exactly. That was like the other one that right after Winnie the Pooh were like, well, look, this one.
Because Steamboat Willie lapsed before Mickey Mouse did. And that's why they're able
Well,
to
Mickey
do
Mouse
these.
is still not.
Okay, Mickey Mouse is not yet?
Yes.
Okay. That's why I thought maybe they did the Steamboat Willie one because Mickey Mouse hadn't lapsed yet. But I guess technically I'm right and you're right that like it hasn't become public domain yet.
Steamboat Willie has. Mickey Mouse is not after they coded. So the next one is Popeye the Slayer
Man. It's also like Sailor is crossed out and Slayer is written underneath it. Like they're not even trying to hide it.
No. Well,
at least on Screamboat, it looked.
This gives me the vibes of a movie that I thought was fucking awesome. Was Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer? I thought that movie was so good.
Yeah.
I don't think this one's going to be nearly as good as that because this does not look like it has anywhere of the budget that.
You think Popeye is going to be a good guy?
I think
it's like a Roadhouse kind of thing where he's supposed to be a good guy, but then he like goes bad, kills some people, and then all of a sudden,
so all there is
like a John Wick type thing.
Judging from this poster from the trailer, it looks like he's just going to beat shit up.
It just says he is what he is.
And the Slayer, because he says, "I am what I am." That's what he said.
I know. I love this.
There's not much we know about it other than it's going to be about Popeye. My guess, and I'm hoping it's going to be that he is some sort of monster or vampire or demon slayer and he's a good guy.
I have a bet that I need to make with you right now. Over under, how many heads are getting knocked off of their bodies with a punch?
2.
2? You're setting the over under at 2. What do you want? Over or under?
I'm taking the under. Only 2.
I'll take over all day. I'm thinking at least 5.
Okay. What do you think this movie's gonna be about?
You know, that's what I was kind of wondering. Is he the doorman that like starts fucking people up?
Of a Roadhouse movie?
That's what I was wondering. If it's Roadhouse, is it John Wick, or is he a bad guy?
We don't.
He is. It says he is what he is.
There's nothing about this movie other than the.
Is it real?
That's supposed to come out.
It's coming out in the next month.
In the next 2 months.
That's pretty new pretty soon for not having anything.
My guess is it's like they're still like this is going to be rushed into production and straight to like a quick.
What I mean, like maybe he's just like we're gonna have Bluto and what's her name? Olive Oil. Do you think he's just gonna be like a jealous dude that's just like literally murdering dudes that like try to flirt with his girl?
No, I already told you. I'm really hoping that he's like a fucking killer of monsters.
I don't think so. I think he's gonna be
without my spinach.
I think he's gonna kill people.
Okay, so your guess is that he is a killer of people.
Yep. And you're thinking monsters.
I'm thinking he's a good guy that kills monsters.
Okay.
So hopefully we get to soon find out.
Yep.
That moves me into the next movie.
Keep rolling, dude. What do we got next?
The Ugly Stepsister.
Now, is this a Cinderella?
It is.
Cinderella story?
It is loosely. This is. We have a little bit more information about this one. It's a Norwegian movie.
Okay.
It's saying debuting. It debuted already January
somewhere in Europe
at the Sundance Festival.
It went to Sundance? That's not like a minor feat to get accepted.
According to Wikipedia.
That's impressive.
That's
to get into Sundance is at least have to have somewhat of a good movie.
Yeah. Ooh.
Interesting.
So the use of the fairy tale Cinderella retells a twisted story of Elvira, who competes against her beautiful stepsister in a bloody battle for beauty. It appeared in 2025 Sundance Film Festival on January 23rd, 2025, where it opened in the midnight section.
Sick.
Isn't that when...
that is exactly when The Blair Witch was released.
Exactly.
Yep, I knew where you were going with that.
Yeah, thank you. You finished my sandwiches. Or sentences.
Cool.
Did you want to go more into this? I feel like that's all we needed.
I think that's enough of a teaser. Do we think One, it's like, so it's the ugly stepsister, but are they like going into like battle? Or is it like we kind of know from like the normal like Cinderella story? Like obviously it's a horror movie.
Mhm.
So there's going to be some gnarly shit that goes on. And I'm like, it's been for me quite some time since I've seen Cinderella. I'm trying to remember scenes that would be like, oh, that would be like, you could make that scary or whatever.
Well, on this movie, you're going to be in luck because it's going to debut in America on your beloved streaming service.
Oh,
Shudder.
straight to Shudder, baby.
to Shudder.
Love it. Sick.
Where real horror people get excited.
That dude. It's honestly like the best money I've ever spent. They're not a sponsor of this at all. Straight up, either go directly and get a Shudder account or link it through your Amazon. If you have any interest in horror movies at all, get a Shudder account. It is the AMC Plus account is the best thing I've ever spent.
I have it linked to just directly AMC Plus, not through my Amazon, which has been great. Like there's like this new show called Dark Winds that's 3 seasons.
Yep.
That looks really cool.
Yep. I've seen that.
There's like an interview with the vampire.
Yeah, the whole Anne Rice, both that and the Witches of East End or something like that. I can't remember.
That hottie chick's in it too.
Daddario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
is in the Witches one, right?
Sassy.
Yeah. I'm watching True Detective season 1 again. She's in it.
Why are you?
I can't help myself.
It's kind of like me watching the same true crime horror story on a different subscription, thinking I'm going to get.
Like, wait, did I see this one already?
Oh, wait, this was about Richard Ramirez on Peacock. It's got to be different than the one I watched last week on HBO Plus.
No, it's the same exact. Damn it! And it takes you an episode before you realize that it's all the same people.
I'll still watch it.
I have actually. Speaking of this, you get into those more than I do, but I did just recently watch American Murder, the Gabby Petito story.
You did?
I did.
We talked about it last episode.
You watched the Gabby Petito one?
I watched it. Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
You drunk bastard. That's what we talked about. How I watched the Gabby Petito, and it was like everyone's like bringing it back up because Netflix did it again. I'm like, fuck. I've already seen
all of them.
Yes.
Okay.
We did talk about this.
We'll skip over that then.
That's okay.
I don't even remember.
That's funny.
Yep. Do you got any other new upcoming horror?
That's all I got, dude.
All right. I watched, it's not a new movie, but it looked really good. It's called I'm Not a Serial Killer. It's from 2016. It's about this. You put, and I'm just going to briefly touch on it because I think it's definitely worth a watch. It's definitely an indie film.
Mm-hmm. It's
about this kid in, I think it's somewhere in the Midwest, small rural town. Reminds me of like Derry from like the It series.
Yeah.
Kind of small, little antiquated. And it's about this, he's a teenager. His mom is the mortician. And this body appears in the morgue. She's not the mortician. What's the person that like dresses him up and gets him ready for the funeral?
Isn't that the...
Is that the mortician?
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
The mortician's definitely the person that like gets him in the hospital. No, the funeral home person's the
funeral. So like a funeral home-ish kind of person. Maybe she's more. Anyways, dead bodies show up to their house is where they do this work. This guy shows up and he's all ripped to pieces, and this kid is like interested in it. And then we find out that the kid definitely struggles from at least sociopathy. And he's trying to track down, because then another murder happens that's very, very similar to
morticians.
Okay. That is very similar to the first body. So then he's like starts to like investigate it, and he's tracking down people and trying to he's trying to solve the case himself. It's really good, and he, has, especially for a high school kid, like a pretty like developed knowledge of serial killers and psychological profiling and stuff like that. So it's interesting. I thought it was it's a good like indie movie, good indie horror movie that takes a twist about midway through the movie that I didn't see coming at all. So
that's the thing about twists.
Yep. Didn't see him coming at all. Sometimes you can see him coming. This one, I didn't. I thought it was going to be, yep. I'm not even going to go into it anymore.
Does he see dead people?
No, he sees bodies like
Okay.
a lot.
Okay. So what's this on? Tell us where it is.
I saw it on Amazon.
Through Shudder?
Not most likely. It doesn't I guess it technically doesn't tell me where it's from as I'm going through it on Amazon.
Well, just assume
AMC Plus or Shudder.
Just assume that whatever Peter tells you to watch, you could just go straight to Amazon first.
Yep. Pretty much. That's where just because that's what my Shudder account is linked to, so everything good that I want to watch and see is on Shudder unless I'm watching the Gabutito Netflix series.
True that. Home slice.
Yep. What else you got for this?
That's all I got,
rambling.
dude. That's all I got, dude.
Sweet.
I'm not even drunk, dude.
Well, me neither.
Let's wrap this up. Pour me a shot.
All right.
Pour me a shot so I can drink some more.
Here, you pour. I'll wrap it up here.
Let's fucking wrap it up.
All right. So, anyways,
wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. What's this look like? Wrap it up.
I'm gonna say this is a condom commercial, isn't it?
No, I'm
turn this into a condom commercial.
No, I was
wrap it up.
No, I was
wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
I was celebrating the wrap up by I was doing a scarp of a champagne bottle.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were trying. You thought I might be jerking this off or putting a condom on. No,
you should definitely
scarping the bottle.
Bring the bottle up a little bit.
Wrap it up.
This is not a condom commercial. This is the end of this episode.
This is the end. This is the end.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Tune in next time when we play the best drinking game I've created for this show called Bigfoot, Blackout, or Bullshit. I've collected a bunch of stories that may or may not be real, and Jamie has to guess whether or not the witness is credible, drunk, or if I made the whole fucking thing up.
Ooh, plot twist.
Yep.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be
Bigfoot
good.
rules. So if you like Bigfoot, please tune in next week.
Yep.
Like we always say, please like and subscribe on YouTube. TikTok for now.
TikTok while it's still here.
Instagram. Give us all these follows. Please tell your mom. We work really hard and we'd want you guys to still get everyone to follow for us.
And also maybe during the episode you got real drunk and you're like, man, that was such a good fucking episode. Fucking give us a 5-star. Give us some ratings because it does help us get some reach to other people that don't know who we are.
Up. There's no the rating system. It's the thumbs up.
Well,
or on Apple and Spotify, give us the rating.
Wherever you're at. If you're feeling drunk enough, just do it. You won't.
Thank you. We love you.
Love you guys. I thought you were going to pour a shot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot.
I'll do it, dude.
So I have a little segment to go into too. So I'm guessing Peter had a little bit of remorse about how we end the show by saying, make sure to always drink down those demons.
Yeah, because I like them. I don't want to drink them down. I want to hang out with them.
So he is having a hard time saying that at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
He kind of wants a new slogan. So I thought it'd be fun to take these shots and each of us take our shot on saying a slogan to end this.
Okay. I like it.
All right?
Yep.
I'm going to have you go first.
Okay. Stay spooky, not sober.
You can't buy what you already have.